So I feel like he used my vulnerability to take advantage of me. And then he started being like touchy. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening now. I don't know what's going on. I don't tell my mom because I don't know what's going on with my head. He starts doing all these sexual things with me to the point where he would even go under my pants and touch my private parts.
Welcome to the Safe Space Chats podcast with Madam Speaker. My name is Perseverance Maremeni, also known as Madam Speaker, also known as the CEO of Self-Love. If you're joining for the first time, welcome to the family of healing, self-love, and motivation. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the continuous love and support that you are showing us. Bazalwane, I have a beautiful guest next to me. I think a couple of episodes ago, we had a guest here who shared that she was married to a man who was abusing children in the church.
He was kicked out of the church because young girls, there was even sisters, these two girls, they were sisters, and they had said, Mfundis is touching them inappropriately.
And the hope was that the children who were being abused would come forward and share their stories and also try to seek help and seek justice. So today we have one of those victims. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and she's going to share her story. Hello, my darling.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
My name is Moedi Rapudi from Pretoria. I'm currently in grade 11. Should I speak about how it began or what?
Yeah, okay. So you are saying you're in grade 11 and you grew up in Pretoria.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think for you, we don't even have to go, okay, so how was life growing up? Because I guess we already know life has been tough.
Yes.
So based on the story that you want to maybe respond to or share your own side, you can just go straight into it to tell us how did it start, how did you meet the pastor and everything that happened.
Okay. So I was in grade 7. I was 13. So I didn't go to the church first. My mom went. She has this thing of every time, okay, I was not born again.
Okay.
I wasn't, my mom wasn't as well. She was just finding herself. Then she met someone, that person helped her, and then she found a church with that lady. Okay. So that lady has been attending the church. So she was a visitor, basically. My mom visited alone because she wanted to see what kind of bophelo ba bozalwane ho beyang. And then she went one Sunday. Then I think the following Sunday she went with us. And then that's when we started getting to know the pastor, getting to know the church. It's a small church. So we were a family, basically. So we get to know the pastor, we get to know everyone there. And I got used to it very fast, getting to be born again. It's very powerful when you begin the journey. And I'm very prayerful. Everything was okay until, I don't know when did it start, but he had an office. So we went to his office with my mom. Then we started talking about my problems. I can't remember what. And then he said to me that it's fine, God is with me, all shall be well. Okay. My mom and I went out. Following Sunday, he called me alone. Because we always used to go to his office with my mom.
Okay.
So we went with my mom. I went alone this time. And then his table, it was him, his table, then chairs where we could sit. Okay. So I always used to sit in front of him, but like not behind the table. Okay. So I sat with him, we started talking. Then he called me. He's like, sit on my lap. I'm not sure I don't know if it's right or wrong, is it okay for me to sit down on his lap? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
So I just went, I sat on his lap, and he started talking to me. Started talking, then I cried. So I feel like he used my vulnerability to take advantage of me. Yeah. So, my problems were, I had daddy problems.
Okay.
So I think,
wanted to ask that also.
I think it was that. Now I remember that he used to use that because now I don't have a father and I don't know that I have a father in heaven. So I was still getting to know that I have a father in heaven. Now I have a prophet, a spiritual father as well. So I can call him Papa. So now we were getting there. He starts telling me, don't worry, your father what? Your father doesn't love you. Now he's telling me lies about my dad. All that. And then he doesn't do anything. I go back to his office. He calls me because I don't go there because there's a secretary to tell us that, okay, the prophet is calling you, the pastor is calling you, you can go. So he called me. I went, and then he started being like touchy. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening now. I don't know what's going on. He starts touching me. And then I stop him at some point because at the time, rape was getting to, like, it was the word in the street. Everyone is starting to know what rape is because everyone was going through that process. So I stop him. He doesn't let go. He continues. Then at some point, he can see that I'm not being uncomfortable. He stops. I go out of the office. I don't tell my mom because I don't know what's going on with my head. So the following week comes another week. He starts touching me. Becomes kissing in the office. He starts doing all these sexual things with me to the point where he would even go under my pants and touch my private parts. And I wouldn't understand what's going on. Why is he doing this to me? And he would use my vulnerability because now I'm always crying when I go to him. And I don't have that good of a relationship with my mom. So it's like mixed motion.
Like he's the only person who is actually there for you.
That can understand who I am, what I'm going through, finding myself. And then he just doesn't stop. Then one time on the pulpit, it's like he's prophesying to my mom that you should buy your daughter a phone. And then my mom is like, no, my mom knows that right now I don't need a phone. I'm 13. And then he does it again. Parents, please buy your kids phones because they need phones now. And I'm not understanding why would you do that. But I'm a kid. I'm excited. My mom is getting a phone for me. I'm happy. Then we go to a prayer meeting outside church. Then he tells my mom again, please get your daughter a phone. Then my mom's like, she will do that. But I don't get her phone in that process because I don't know why. So all that is, it's a mixed emotion now. My mom doesn't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. He still continues molesting me until I don't know, but one of the kids spoke in church that the pastor is touching me. And then that's when the whole process of the new pastor is coming in from PE. And then he's coming in and then he's talking to us, telling us, so he's now being suspended from the church. And then my mom is supporting him because my mom doesn't believe what's happening. So he had a lot of support, right? So
During that time, sorry to cut you, during that time, was it only one child who had come forward? Or?
yes, only one.
Okay.
And I felt like I knew that there were more kids. But at the time, I didn't believe what the kid was saying as well. I was not sure what was happening in my mind. So my mom supports him. My mom puts all her trust in him. No, I don't believe them. She also supports the wife. She's there as the backbone. We were family in the church. So when this happened, like it broke us all as a church. I'm also supporting, but not knowing that I felt like you put something on me not to speak or not to talk about the whole situation.
Because you were going through the same thing that the other child was crying about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think she was older than me at the time.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know who the girl is, but I just know that someone came out. Okay. I know the mother, but I don't know the child. So all that passes. Then he's bribing me with taking me out. I want to take you out. What's your favorite restaurant? Where do you like to go? So at the time it was Roko Mama's. I tell him I like Roko Mama's. He's like, okay, one day I'll take you out with your mom. Then he's like, I don't need your mom. You should come because you're my daughter.
Okay, wait. Because on the, I don't know if you watched the story that the ex-wife shared.
Yes, I did watch it.
This first suspension that took place, because that part I think we didn't cover on that episode that we did with her. Everybody was aware of the situation. And then this is not the last one. This is not the actual one that got him to run away, right?
No, it's not.
So there was a first incident first, which was
Yes.
like an accusation,
Yes.
which didn't fall through, and then he continues.
Then he
Cool. You can take it from where you said that he was saying he wanted to take you to Rocco Mama's.
Oh, yeah. So he tells me he wants to take me out. Then that part doesn't happen. But I tell my mom, Hori, the pastor wants to take me out. And then everything passes by. It's COVID. I'm in grade 8 now.
Okay.
My mom, we stopped going to that church because now he opened a new church. I don't know anything anymore. He opens a new church. And then I was close with one of the kids in the church. So she was always stubborn. So I don't know what was going on because I felt like she was also going through the same thing. Because at some point, she also spoke, but it was not that effective that he could also run away. So it just died down. No one went to the police. Nothing happened. So he opened another church. Everything was there. I didn't go. My mom doesn't know about it as yet. Until one time, my mom's friend told us we must go to Mami Lodi to go to this other church. We tried out. So at the end of the service, they have this thing of bringing people to come talk to you. So we had there were a bunch of people and it was a long line. So we were the last people. So my mom and I go to one of the ladies that were helping us. And then she goes and she's like, your daughter has been through pain, right? So among all this, it happened for a year continuously and a few months before COVID started. So now I'm being quiet. It's December. I'm being quiet. I'm trying to tell my mom. I can't find the right words to tell her. No one knows. I'm doing this alone. And worst part, my mom was supporting him throughout the whole...
So you saw your mom supporting the other child?
No, the pastor.
No. I mean, you saw your mom supporting the pastor when the other child spoke out. So
yes, because we don't know who the child is. My mom doesn't know who the child is. My mom doesn't know anything.
So the fact that your mom was supporting that the pastor during that time, it gave you that discomfort to say maybe even with me, maybe she will side. Is that how it was like?
I think it was like that because he had a lot of people that were supporting him. Because some of the members at the old church just went with him to the new church.
Okay.
Yes. So she prophesies to us and tells us that your child has been through a lot of pain and her private part feels a lot of pain. So I'm not understanding what's happening. Then she tells me that, who's the man that your daughter was sleeping with? And then I don't say anything because now I'm scared. And then she's like, please speak. And I spoke and I'm like, the pastor. My mom's like, which pastor? And I said the pastor's name. And then she started crying. That's when I noticed that it's actually serious. At the time, I didn't know it was that serious. Then I started crying as well with my mom. And then the prophet of the church was like, don't say anything. Don't go to the police. He will come out. The police will catch him. So it has been years now. I've been coping with it, not dealing with it. So I've been coping with the whole situation. And it still hurts that there are still kids out there who's going through the same situation. And we are many. We're not like 5. We're not countable. Like a lot of kids. Because when I think of it, when I was listening to the other podcast, that the kids that also came out to the ex-wife, I know them. They were a group of girls. I know them. We had our own relationship as kids at the church. So all that was like, oh, wow. And I suspected, but I didn't say anything. I was just young. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, understandably so. But during the time when this whole thing came out with the police and him running away, were you aware of that situation? You didn't know anything like that? So you were only finding out for the first time when I did the episode with the ex-wife. And ever since you saw that episode, have you tried to reach out to the other girls? Have you guys had a communication or anything like that?
Don't forget, I didn't have a phone.
Oh, yeah, your mom never ever bought you a phone?
She never ever bought me a phone. So I didn't have any communication with the other girls because they also didn't have a phone at some point. So the only thing we used to see, we would see each other at church on Sunday. If we didn't see you, maybe you're not there, but you'd ask your mom, where's Mang Mang? Where's Mang Mang? Thing. And then, but we never I didn't.
Okay, and also you were not one of the girls that reached out to the pastor's wife during that time.
I was close with her, but I was not that close like the
Okay.
other girls.
So meaning that if you are coming forward and you are one of those who are not that close, that means that there could be a lot more who are like you.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for your bravery for
Thank
sharing this story, because this has been my prayer ever since that episode, to say I don't want it to be just in vain, where we share a story of, I don't want it to be an awareness story. I want it to be a story that we get to the bottom of, where the actual victims come forward and they share their story. But that's just me. I want to know from you what you desire to get out of you sharing your story today.
I want to get justice for not only me, but for the other girls.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they went through more than I went through. At least God was there to protect me at the times I needed to be protected. Because if I went with him to the Roko Mama's date, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now telling you that this happened, because I'm very uncomfortable talking about it as it is. So I hope they come out and speak, because now if he's also wherever he is right now, I'm sure he's doing the same thing, because it's a spirit of lust. I'm sure he's doing the same thing. And now wherever he is, they don't have that advantage of speaking. So I hope they come out and speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you told your mom that you are coming to share your story, what did she say?
She was skeptical because she asked, "Do you want to do what Karabo did?" And I'm like, I think it's time. I've been quiet for years. I'm turning 19 this year, and I've been quiet. And it's just sad, because I have been coping with this thing. I'm not dealing with it. Because every time I put it back in the bottle, I have to dust myself, put my head up, and go to school.
Yeah.
Be happy. Because I am a happy child, but like, sometimes this thing just comes back. It haunts me. Everything comes out. I don't share it with my mom, because my mom doesn't even know what to do as it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. And have you been able to get any psychological help to deal with nothing like that? Okay, I think that's maybe one of the things that we have to look into also. Would you be willing to, maybe, because I think Karabo had said that there were some kids who had open cases, it's just that she lost touch with everybody else. Would you be willing to jointly, work with the other kids so that you guys, all of you, can get justice?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe that's going to be our starting point. And another thing, with the other kids who are out there, because I'm sure some of the victims are also going to be watching this, what can you say to them to encourage them after you have shared your experience?
Okay, guys, please come. This is one step to victory, because we cannot be dealing with these things for years. We're growing old now. And one of the kids, I'm sure they're my age or older, because
even
there's
younger.
older, even younger. Yeah, so guys, please come, talk, because we need to talk about this. Keeping quiet is not going to help anyone. You're not going to heal, because as it is, I'm not healing. I'm dealing with the problem. So please come, talk. Just come and talk. That's all I can say. God is with you. Yeah.
How has this whole thing affected your relationships or relations with other people, especially people of the opposite gender?
I don't like being touched in certain ways. I don't want anyone to see my body. I like covering myself, for instance. So I don't wanna. I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm opening a bit, but it takes time for you to break my wall. In order for you to get in, it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And understandably so. I just thank God that you were not one person that has, because you look like a very peaceful child. You look like one child that really just wants to be happy. And I feel like you deserve that happiness that you've always had, and you deserve to deal with this thing both just psychologically and legally so. And if there's anybody out there who is watching and is willing to help these children, all of them, to get to the bottom of this, because I believe that if you've watched part one, I'll leave a link for part one, so that, not part one, the one that Karabo did, so that those who don't know the story in detail can actually go and watch it and for context. But if you know that you can help these children in any way, shape, or form, please do reach out to us. I think for your protection, I'm not going to say people should reach out to you directly. Ne?
Okay.
I'm going to ask them to reach out to our admin, and then from our admin, and then we will, because I don't want to disturb you, because I know that you're in school, but whatever that needs to be done must be done, and you need to get your justice. I don't know if there's anything else that I'm leaving behind, my sister. Yes. Thanks. You see, you are hired. Okay. So with everything that has happened, and you maybe from the first time when you saw your mom supporting the pastor, do you somehow maybe blame her?
I don't.
Did you ever at some point?
I blame her for leaving me to go to the office by myself.
Okay.
At first, only now. Before, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So only now I do blame her.
And what about your dad, your biological father? Do you somewhere believe that maybe if he was in your life, some of these things would have been avoided?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. And how has it affected your relationship with God? Because I can hear that you still, you speak about God, and the fact that you actually got saved, or you got to know of God from that church where there was a filthy pastor who was doing terrible things to you. How has that affected your relationship with God?
I didn't stop praying. I'm very prayerful, one thing. So I didn't stop. That church taught me to be very prayerful. So I was prayerful with my mom and everything. So after everything, right now my relationship with God is not as stable as I thought it would be. I still go to church, I still pray, but it's not the same as before. It's changed. And I need to change it myself because I allowed the change. So I have to change it by myself.
I believe that because as we're growing older and we experience all these things, there's a lot of weight that you have had to carry from childhood up to where you are now. So it requires you to do a lot of work. That's why I'm saying that it's not only going to require psychological work, but also for you to get your justice and everything. It's a lot of things, that can actually layer up to a point where you don't even see. Because remember, when you are young, you're a child, you don't really have a lot of problems, but then you are able to focus and just be you and God and everything. But as you're growing older and you're getting all these triggers and you're remembering what actually happened to you, and every second podcast, maybe you will hear somebody else talking about it, they're bound to affect you in some way. But I think you will have to just be patient with yourself. There's a part that Karabo shared in her story, that the man ran away. It's just that unfortunately, because we have not gotten to have anybody who has a case opened, then we don't know, is he back in the country or what? But I'm just hoping that with your story, it will encourage other victims to come forward, and then we see how we can get you guys help. Because I heard that probably is either he ran away or whatever, but we will see. In closing, this was the shortest podcast episode we've ever had. But I think what I appreciate about it is that it went straight to the point, and I appreciate that. In closing, is there anything that you would like to share with the people at home, especially when it comes to church and parents, taking care of their children when they go to church?
For first, parents must check in with kids. This thing of, okay, my child is happy, it's fine. My child has this. Wants are not important. It's the needs from the parents. I'm glad my mom had a sex talk with me because now it's eye-opening. But I want parents to speak to their kids. It's very important to check in now and then instead of keeping quiet, instead of kids bottling things, because I was very suicidal because of this whole situation. But I've learned not to cry about it anymore because my tears are not going to fix anything. So parents should talk to us and check in with their kids. No matter how young, how old, talk to your kids. It's very important.
And not be too trusting of everyone out there, you know, regardless of who they are. Because look, the one person that should be trusted the most, the pastor is the head of the church, is the one person that actually violated you. Yeah.
Because I trusted him as my father. He was my father, but it turned out he had other plans. And his plans were not to make me happy. His plans was to destroy me, because right now I'm destroyed and I need to pick up these pieces. And everyone else who has went through it has to pick the pieces up.
Yeah. You know, I feel like the issue of him whispering things to you, one of the lessons that I feel like the parents can learn at home is being careful of trying to protect their kids from the things that other people tell them, because it's easy for them to pick up things from the streets. Because the way you are saying, you had conversations with your mom, but for some reason, the pastor managed to actually whisper something else in your ear for you to believe he groomed you, you know. So meaning that your mom could be a good parent and take care of you in every way possible, but there's an external force that is actually grooming you every single day. So maybe that also, I don't even know how that is going to be solved, you know. But yeah, I'm just hoping that we're going to leave this open-ended so that more people can come forward, and this 2025 we leave no stone unturned and we get to the very bottom of it. But thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You're very brave and very courageous. I just want to thank your mom in her absentia also for allowing you to actually be here with us, because I was a bit, you know, my admin was busy asking you, yeah, mom, permission, because I really just wanted to be sure that this is one story that even the parents support, because they understand the importance of you getting your justice and getting your healing as a child. We'll definitely, you know, communicate afterwards and see the type of help that we can get so that you can also, you know, be completely healed. Yeah. Bazalwane, with that being said, thank you so much for joining in. Please leave a comment down below and tell us what you think. And also, please holler at us and help this girl and all the other ones. If you're a victim and you are watching this from at home, as you can see, we have a brave, soft girl sitting here next to me who was able to share her story. If you also have the same story or something similar to share, please come through. And also, if you want justice, please come through. And those who know that they can actually help us to get to the bottom of this, please also come forward, reach out to us on this number, and let's heal our nation one person at a time. I love you so much. I'll see you on the flip side. God bless you. Mwah.